My name is Miriam, and for years, people thought I was lying about my life. Not because I exaggerated, but because the truth didn't fit the version of me they were comfortable with. I grew up poor. Not we struggled a bit poor, I mean counting coins for bread, sharing shoes, knowing which neighbors would let us borrow sugar without asking questions. I worked hard, got scholarships, and eventually landed a job at a well-known company. No one there knew where I came from. I didn't hide it on purpose. It just never came up. And when it did, people laughed like I was joking. One coworker once said, "You? Poor? Please. You don't look like it." I learned quickly that people preferred the version of me that made them feel comfortable. Everything was fine until Noura joined the team. She was loud, confident, and immediately positioned herself as self-made. She talked constantly about struggle, about growing up with nothing, about how hardship shaped her. People admired her for it. The problem was, she was telling my story. Details were too specific. The neighborhood. The kind of school. The exact sacrifices. Things I'd only ever shared privately with one person at work. Me. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then she told a story about selling her mother's jewelry to pay school fees. That was something that happened to me. Something I'd cried about at my desk years earlier when I thought no one was listening. I confronted her quietly. Gave her the benefit of the doubt. She smiled and said, "Lots of people go through similar things." After that, she became careful. She didn't copy my stories exactly, just enough to keep the image alive. And people loved her for it. She got praise. Opportunities. Invitations I never received. Meanwhile, I was described as quiet, hard to read, lacking presence. I started questioning myself. Wondering if my story only mattered when someone else told it louder. The breaking point came during a company event. Leadership invited employees to share stories of resilience. Noura volunteered immediately. She stood on stage and told a polished version of a life she never lived. She cried at the right moments. People applauded. I sat there shaking. After the event, someone congratulated me for helping her open up. That's when I decided I was done being invisible. I didn't expose her publicly. I didn't interrupt. I didn't accuse. Instead, I applied for a program the company offered quietly, one that partnered with local schools and nonprofits. They asked for documentation. History. Proof. I gave them everything. When they asked me to speak, I told my story calmly. Plainly. Without drama. With receipts. The program featured my story internally. Then externally. People started connecting dots. Someone asked Noura a question she couldn't answer. Then another. Then silence. Update. She resigned 2 months later. No announcement. No goodbye post. People suddenly started asking me questions. Listening when I spoke. Treating my past like something real instead of theoretical. The strangest part? I didn't feel victorious. I felt solid. Like I finally existed without having to compete for space. Some stories don't need to be stolen to be powerful. They just need to be told by the person who lived them. Thank you for watching. Check out my channel for more stories like this. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. Midnight Tea Stories.